Most part about racing, I feel, is that it's just like anything else, like skateboarding or snowboarding. You get to show what you're into, your style. Like the way you build your car is your style. I think racing is just, it brings out like an adrenaline inside your body that like most people I don't know. It's like a wave runner, or like a jet ski, like how fast you can make such a small car go.
The thrill of it, you know, it's like roller coasters.
It's kind of a really adrenaline rush. It kind of feels good.
It's the ultimate adrenaline rush if you like fast cars.
When you get up to a really high speed, over 100.
It was scary.
It's pretty crazy.
It's mainly for the adrenaline and, you know, saying that your car is better than his car. Or
another bit of the thrill is doing it and trying not to get caught.
Yeah, you're breaking the law, but you're having fun.
You know, we got people standing around, showing their cars, got the hoods up. I mean, showing off their cars.
This is my baby. I'm in college, and my money should be going for credits and classes and stuff, but mostly just goes to this car.
I got a stage 3 racing clutch, full exhaust system.
I have a DC header and an AEM holder intake.
It's got a 2.5-inch exhaust, spoiler muffler. Nothing really special, but it goes pretty good.
Mostly my car looks like show for now, but I want to set it up, do suspension, and get a little bit more power.
Ramp intake, spark plug wires, and a whole bunch of other crap.
No, this is a JDM D15 with a D16 head on it. It's called a Mini-Me. I have a silencer in there to keep it down so people don't know exactly what I have underneath the hood.
Over here we got an Apex tack. I got an extinguisher down there just because you never know when a car's going to light on fire or something's line's going to break, and you want to be able to, you know, take care of it as best as possible. In the back, got the nitrous system here. In the back, got the battery relocation. Just better weight distribution. It's all about just getting better and better with the car. It's a matter of like not so much the car, but the driver. You know, it's just so much practice, so much money, because you go through a lot of parts, a lot of tires, everything, you name it. The best races that I found, and I'll admit that I still do this, is freeway battles. If it's like an empty freeway and you get a couple of cars that are kind of quick and you just want to go for it, you just go for it through 3 gears, 3rd, 4th, 5th. You know, so you've got the most power, the most speed.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a ride out through the north end of Kent. This is where our racing problem is most predominant. 59th Avenue here is another recently built roadway that has served to truly attract street racers with an enthusiasm like we hadn't seen before. Our officers will typically come onto this road and find anywhere from 50 to 70 street racers and spectators out here. As we're driving along, you can notice on the road that there's tire friction marks, acceleration skid marks all over the place. And these are all representative of our street racers. You'll see these big S-shaped marks and 180 degree turning marks. Again, this is just the street racers out here engaged in sideshow. And sideshow is sort of like a spontaneous car show, if you will. It starts out with people just parking their cars, showing off their cars, showing off their engine modifications. And then as the night starts to progress, we start to see wagering occur. We start to see people showing off the actual workings of their cars.
This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Here goes a motorcycle that's going to be 100 miles an hour.
And what we're seeing are greater numbers of motorcycles in street racing. The likelihood of being seriously injured or killed on a motorcycle is much greater than in a car.
The cops aren't nice. They don't like it. They make it obvious that they don't like it. The city council supports them in that. You can't blame them, I guess, because there have been fatalities, there have been loss of life, loss of property, everything. It attracts a bad element sometimes.
it's not safe really, because a lot of people like to fight. Like if they win or lose, they want a rematch, and some of them aren't willing to rematch. And usually a fight happens and someone's car gets wrecked or shot.
People run with guns. If they don't pay up, they're gone.
Street races often involve people who are possibly impaired and or intoxicated by drugs or alcohol or both. Those things cause their ability to drive to be impaired.
We haven't had many recent problems with illegal street racing because in the Spokane area we're fortunate to have reasonable alternative in the form of legal street racing, which is offered on Friday nights out at a private raceway park. I don't sanction the legalized street racing because it's still inherently dangerous. But at least having a quasi-controlled environment is better than the other alternative.
But I mean, I'd feel like more people would be using track racing if it wasn't so expensive to have more around. You know, it's like your friend shows up and says the car's faster than you, just do it right then.
Someone would just pull up someone, ask them they want to race, they say yeah, you put the money on the line and they'll be like, okay.
Sometimes some people are just scared of going, and then they just end up doing it.
I think it's exciting, but there's also a scare tactic to see if something happens. You're kind of worried about what the outcome will be.
There's no houses along this road. This is the one road that I usually take on. To safely take this corner, I stop at around 80. I think we made it at about 80, a little bit above 80.
911, what are you reporting?
Reporting an accident on Highway 303.
Anybody trapped inside?
I think so, yeah. There's a gentleman in a silver car. He's trapped inside. He can't get out. His feet are hurt. But yeah, there's people working on him right now trying to get him out. The car's on fire.
And the person's still in it. Okay, we're getting fire and aid dispatch.
Get away from the vehicle! It looks like it's going to explode.
Well, it's the phone call that nobody wants to get. It was the hospital and said that our son had been involved in an accident.
2 of our vehicles involved had an actual street race, and we were able to determine speeds of this vehicle here at 99 miles an hour when he lost control of his vehicle and went into the oncoming lane.
We have a big crash on Highway 3. It's 3 cars involved. It is a head-on. Hey, hold on, it's on fire.
There's a person in a silver car. He's trapped in. They can't get the door open.
When I spoke with the witnesses, they were saying that our driver was stuck inside the car right here, and there was 5 of them pulling on the door, and none of them could get the door open. His feet were actually hanging outside of the vehicle. His shoes had been knocked off on impact and were actually at the impact point, so his stocking feet were just hanging out. There was fire down here at his feet. They were stomping on his feet. He had a compound fracture of his left leg. And he was screaming in pain as they're stomping on his feet, but they had to try to keep the fire down.
Okay, ma'am. We do have fire and aid dispatch out there, okay?
I don't know if you've ever seen anybody on life support, but it's like they're dead. The machine's keeping them alive. And it's just one of the worst feelings in the world, or it has to be the worst feeling in the world to see your kid like that.
He was wearing his seatbelt. That saved him. If they had been 10 seconds later, they had watched Roy burn alive.
There's been a huge crackdown. I've gone to jail twice for street racing. They just don't tolerate it anymore at all. They're all about just catching you, locking you up, no questions asked.
Well, we do have a problem with our youngsters out here racing up and down the freeway and on the city and county roads, and unfortunately, not only are they putting themselves in danger, they're also putting the lives of those other commuters around them in danger as well. Okay, just keeping an eye on this black car right here that's following way too close. If he gets the opportunity, he'll probably take off. And what do you know? Let's see here. Now we have the silver one that's picking up speed in the fast lane to the left, passing both cars. Now we got a little race going on here between the red car and the silver car. Southbound I-5 approaching Bridgeport, speeds 90 to 95 miles an hour at this time. Silver car starts to slow down as it rapidly closes in on the rear of another vehicle in lane 4, and this is what I'm talking about. When these cars get up at these high speeds, now the black car wants to get involved as well. And now he shoots over to the far slow lane, and now he's in and out of traffic now. The silver car's out of it because he's backed up on other traffic. Black car's at about 90 to 95 miles an hour now. Red car moves over to the left without signaling. And we'll keep an eye on him. Okay, been behind you, man, for over 10 miles now at 95 to 100 miles an hour. Just want to let you know also you're being audio and video recorded. Need your driver's license, your registration?
Well, if you're cited for street racing, the first thing that can happen is you can get arrested. Racing here in Washington State is a crime, and you can actually be arrested for that and taken to jail and booked into jail for that. Your car can be towed. There can be damage done to the front of the car, to the rear of the car, to the suspension, and even to the wheels and tires when the vehicle is moved. And we are not responsible for the damage because the vehicle is being towed as a result of the crime that occurred. It's a big deal.
You know, I mean, we basically feel like nothing's gonna happen to us. You know, I mean, we hear about it all the time.
A red Mustang and a blue and white striped Mitsubishi were speeding side by side when the Mitsubishi pulled in front of the Mustang. All this because of what police believe was street racing.
Basically, we're swerving in and out of the lanes. You know, my car can do this, your car can do that. You know, just that kind of thing was, you know, we're just playing around. Well, little did I know, a white van ends up pulling out in front of me, and I noticed that, but I didn't notice it in time.
Police say there were 2 cars allegedly racing with a driver and passenger in each car. All of them were teenagers. This morning, one of those teens is dead. Another of those teens is here in the hospital at Harborview Medical Center, along with an innocent victim.
She was the passenger in my car, and I don't remember what she was saying to me at all, but she must have been saying, you know, either slow down or, you know, let's just stop the car. Yeah, maybe if I had listened, maybe this wouldn't have happened. I don't know. I mean, I had a girl, I had a fast car, I had a little bit of money in my pocket, I had a good home. We got to focus on things that are actually productive, you know, not taking chances so much. My nightmares didn't start until basically the reality of this whole thing set in. When you're in county, I mean, you wake up every single morning, whether it be 6 a.m., 7 a.m., to rows of locks. Just going. I mean, then that's your wake-up call.